Hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is Tara, and we are going to be talking about some things today that's very important. Topic today is 5 reasons why your friends and family start cutting up once you start making changes in your life. Because quite a few people have noticed that, man, my boyfriend ain't acting right, girlfriend ain't acting right, husband, wife, whatever. My friends, I'm losing friends. My mother doesn't understand. My family members keep telling me, why don't you just eat something? And that can be really disheartening while you are working so hard to try to make these changes in your life to better yourself and become a better person and have a better life, because you have realized that in order to have a better life or to change your life in the least, just to change your life, you have to change something about yourself. Okay, so let's go over these reasons why your friends and family are starting to cut up. All right, so first reason, all right, you changing brings awareness to their flaws. And you changing these flaws that you once shared together, okay, makes them think that you think you're better than them because they still want to partake in those flawed behaviors, okay? They still want to partake in those flawed behaviors. Thank you so much, Live, Love, Laugh, for the badges. But that's a big deal, okay? So just understand, like, the psychology around, and they don't even understand it. They don't understand why they are giving you a hard time either. It's not like people are just sitting there saying, I just want to give her a hard time. It's really not like that. They don't understand it, but you changing brings awareness to their flaws. It's like turns on this flag, like, hold on. And they might not even realize some of the things they're doing is flawed until you start changing. Okay, and they want to still partake in doing those flawed things. Let's just give out some examples. If you could just say simple stuff: drinking, smoking, going out. Maybe you want to change that, or eating habits, but let's keep going. Okay, so number 2, the second reason why your friends and family is cutting up when you decide to change your life. All right, they miss the fun, the drama, the trauma bonding, or bonding over bad behaviors. Okay, they fear that you changing will leave them behind. They're afraid of you leaving them behind, okay? So this can cause them to want to sabotage you, and it might be unconscious. It might be an unconscious sabotage. Like, it could be, let's say it's your sister, and they don't want to just outright sabotage you, but they know that in their heart and in their subconscious mind, they know that if you were no longer doing whatever this new thing you're doing, let's just say this detox, or let's say you changing your diet or starting a new workout regimen or something like that, you making those changes, they feel like, if you just stopped all of that, then you would just go back to normal, and they could just have you the way that they had you before. That everything would just go back to normal if they just stopped doing this thing. Okay, if you just stop doing this thing. So this can cause them to kind of they'll start asking you to go places knowing that you're doing your detox and you don't want to go and do those things. They know your boundaries for the detox because I'm sure that you already told them, I'm doing a detox. Maybe you didn't tell them why you're doing the detox. We'll talk about that in another video, what to tell people if you want to detox privately and you don't want people to know why you're detoxing, but you really don't want them also sabotaging you by trying to offer you things and offer you foods that you can't eat while you are detoxing, because that tends to happen. But they'll start offering you things like, oh, you want some of this, or I bought you some of this. And somebody will bring you a plate of food, just out the blue, and it's like, I can't eat that right now. Or they'll offer for you to go out with them, to go to a restaurant or something, knowing that you can't eat that right now. And that is the unconscious or subconscious of them acting out, kind of like low-key trying to sabotage you. Okay, so you can go back to the fun, the drama, and the trauma bonding. Okay, so number 3, the third reason why your friends and your family are turning on you once you decide to better yourself is, this one is a hard one, okay? Some people really hate you, and they pretend to be your friend only to keep you down due to jealousy or hate. There are some people, and I hope that you don't have anybody like this in your life. I don't have anybody like this in my life, but I have had people in my life like this who there's some people who might envy you so much that they kind of hate you. Like, they want to embody some of that spark and that power that you have. And they will hang around you knowing that they really kind of despise you, and they will try to like keep you down and discourage you from making those changes. So have you told anybody that you want to do the detox, or have you told anybody that you wanted to start this new self-care regimen, that you want to start working out, or you want to start changing your diet? And if that person tells you a bunch of reasons why you should not do that, which no one should tell you not to do a detox or not to start working out, not to eat right. Nobody in their right mind who really loves you would tell you not to make those positive changes in your life. Okay? All right? So what you need to realize is that person just might secretly envy you.
Take it up.
Go inside. Boy, you ain't got no clothes on. Go talk to your daddy. You got a whole daddy in there. Close the door.
Mommy,
Go talk to your daddy. That's fine. Talk to your daddy. Okay. Sorry. Boys out here all the way ass naked. Okay. So, where was I? Yes. The jealous people, the hateful people. One day I was in Walmart, and an old lady told me, she was like, she just kept looking at me like this. She was like, and I'm like, what's up with this broad? I'm in the produce trying to pick out my groceries and stuff, and she just, and then she finally says to me, I just hate you. I love what you're wearing. It's like she envied what I was wearing and how I look, my style, so much that she hated me. And she just wanted to let me know. And that was kind of like a compliment from her. It was like kind of like a backhanded compliment. But there's people that's like that, and they just can't help it. It's just in them. And that has to do also with like astrological alignments, the place of the planets and everything when you were born, and what house those planets fall in. And that kind of lends to that type of jealous bug that you might have in your body. And that's why I love astrology so much. And it's not just to say, okay, Tauruses are known to be lazy. Okay, I'm a Taurus. Tauruses are known to kind of procrastinate or be lazy. Creatures of comfort. But because I know that, I'm not going to use that as an excuse to not do things. That's something that's a flaw for me to work against. Right? So if you go and you do your birth chart or something like that, or you do your numerology report, which I got a website to give y'all. If you want to scare yourself about yourself, you want to learn some scary stuff about yourself, go to this website. Let me check it on here on my phone first to make sure I got the website right. But it's Caballarians.com. And it's been a while since I've been on the site. This is how I actually choose my children's name. So let me type it again and put what you're doing this for. So you need to go to, make sure I'm typing in Kaba. Oh Lord, I totally spelled that wrong. Okay, Caballarians.com. All right, so this is how I balanced out my children's names. So all of my children's names are balanced through numerology to spare them of imbalances and tragic and difficult circumstances in life. Okay, so go to this site right here, Caballarians.com, and you want to do your name analysis. Okay, you want to do your name analysis. And you don't want to do this first one because that one is too lightweight. That one doesn't do it. Where is it? Is it balance name, order name report? So go down where it says order name report. Scroll down to that section, and let me make sure that it is still the same. Okay, great. So you'll go on this, and you will fill all of this out. All right, and then once you're done filling all of that out, you're going to prepare my report, my name report, and you are going to shock the hell out of yourself. It's going to be scary accurate, telling you all kinds of stuff about yourself and why you are the way that you are, and things that may have happened to you, the type of person that you need to be with, the type of situations that you tend to go through. Okay, so go to this, Caballarians.com. I got the website listed right there so that you can learn a lot about yourself. And this is very important. This is a numerology report, and this is what I use to name my children. I paid for the service, and then I learned how it goes, and this is how I named my children. So I paid for the service the first time with my first child, and then I was able to repeat the same thing for the rest of my children so that my children have balance. Their names are balanced with their numerology and also with their astrological alignment, and then that just makes it evens out those rough edges to allow them to have a better life. So some of the things that I saw on this report, there's one person that I had take this report, and from their father's name, I had their, so I was doing everybody who I came across at one point for like years. So I was like, let's do a numerology report for everybody. And when somebody tells me that they had a baby, one of my friends, I always go and pull their numerology report for their baby and send it on over to them. And honestly, I think Blossom is my 5-year-old. I think it took me 2 days to come up with a name for her, because I had to make sure that the name was right and that it would put her on the proper path in her life. Okay, so let me tell you about this one person. Their father, I did their father's numerology report. Their father had passed away, and he was actually murdered by his friends. Or they suspected his friends, because no one ever really found out who murdered him, but they had like speculations of who they thought he was. And it came up that that name that he was given, which I'm not going to say his name, but that name that he was given, it tied him along to being betrayed by his friends and also gang activity. And it said that if he was involved in gang activity, that or any type of illegal activity or gang activity, that he would die young. And he was murdered at about 40 years old. So that was the father. And then there's a junior. So he had a son with the same exact name, and his son was also murdered. A son was also murdered by his friends. Okay, so this numerology stuff is serious, and I found that out. I started doing that right before I had my kids. So by the time I got pregnant, I was like, numerology report, I'm gonna pay. I don't even remember how much it was. It was several $100s, but for the paid version, what I just showed y'all just now, that is the free version, and I use the free version for my children now that I understand the process. But initially, I used their paid version for my first child. But go find out about yourself, and then go and plug your children's names in there, and go plug in your mates' names, like people who you're interested in being with. Yeah, do that and spare yourself and learn some things about yourself. Okay, so I think we're on reason number 4, why your friends and family turn on you when you decide to better yourself. All right, so they don't know how to bond with you, because what you used to bond over, you no longer have an interest in. Okay, you can't bond over the same things anymore. And examples of that would be gossip, nightclubs, unhealthy eating, drinking, going out, etc. Okay, so once you decide not to do those things, they don't know what to do with you anymore, because that's all they ever did with you, was engage in those behaviors that you no longer want to engage in. Okay, so they don't understand, and they don't know what to do. They miss you. Your friend misses you. All right, and then reason number 5, this is the last reason why your friends and your family start to turn on you when you decide to better yourself. They fear that if you change, you'll change on them. They don't understand that you just want to change yourself to better yourself. They think that if you change, you're going to actually change on them, like you're going to turn on them, okay? Because they want to keep their bad habits and want to be around other people that's just like them, okay? Everybody wants to be around people that's just like them. Everybody want to feel like they belong, and they want to feel included, because if you don't feel included and you don't feel like you belong, the type of emotions that comes along with that's low vibrational, it's low self-esteem. So most people want to fit in, okay? So they want you to keep your bad habits. They want to be around other people just like them, and they fear that you'll try to get them to change, okay? Because either they don't want to change or they don't think they can change. All right, so your friend just might, or your family member just might fear that you are going to change on them. Not just changing yourself, but you'll turn on them, and that you're going to start, putting the magnifying glass on them, like, well, why don't you change this? Why don't you do that? Okay, they feel like it magnifies what they the bad behaviors they partake in, or it magnifies the fact that they don't partake in the good behaviors that you have started doing. All right? So the reason why is because they probably don't want to change. They're not ready to change. They don't want to change, or they might not feel empowered enough to change. Now, if they don't feel empowered enough to change, that's actually a good thing, because by you sticking to the changes that you're making for yourself, it's going to jolt something in them that says, you know what, I can do it too. I just need to take it slow, but I can do it too. So for my people who stick in the process, so in the beginning, and I'm going to give y'all some examples from like actual clients. I won't say their names, of course, but I'm going to give you some examples. But first, once you start to make those changes in your life, and then you have like your friends or your family members that either want to offer for you to go places with them, that they know that, you know, you're not eating out, you're not drinking right now, they'll still offer for you to go to those places. Okay. Some people will just get outright rude and nasty and just start being mean to you, start treating you bad, start talking to you bad. Some people go through abuse. One woman, her boyfriend beat the shit out of her because she wanted to do the detox, because she actually started doing the detox, and he just beat the shit out of her, okay, and put her out because she wants to change her life. But guess what? I'm sorry that she went through that, but it might have been the thing that she needed to go through in order to get out of that situation, because she wasn't strong enough to leave on her own. So it took the ass kicking for her to really like, okay, it's done. I'm not going back. I'm doing my detox because I need to do this for me and for my life. And I don't want to deal with that toxic stuff that you got going on over there. So some of the people you're going to be losing in your life are going to be toxic people that you need to lose, that need to go. They got to go. And you're holding on to them, hoping that they would change just from seeing you change. There will be people that's going to change because you change, but not everybody. Some people got to go to make space for the right people to come into your life, because by you changing yourself, you're raising your vibration. And as you raise your vibration, you're going to be aligned with a frequency that brings in people that are like you. You're going to start to meet other people that are just like you, or people who have been able to accomplish this change in your life that you're trying to make, and you're trying to do it on your own, and you don't really have anybody as an example in your life that's also made these changes and who's gone through this thing. But God will bring you other people. You just got to get rid of the assholes, or let them get rid of themselves better. We don't want to get rid of them. We're going to make space to allow them to get rid of themselves. All right? And in you doing that, what's going to happen is you will attract the right ones. The right ones will come. I done met so many great people online. I met my tribe online. Like the people who I really fuck with, I met them online. And that's crazy. And sometimes all we do is DM. I've gotten on the phone with some of these people, and they are like my tribe. So you never know where the right people are going to come from. But you can't bring the right people in your life if you still holding on to what is no longer serving you. It ain't serving you no more. So you got to let it go. And we don't want to be, I'm telling you these things so that you can understand what's going on, because they may not understand what's going on. Now, let's talk about your mother. Let's talk about your mama. So mamas can give us trouble when we start to change, because for one reason, they might feel like you don't like or appreciate the way that they raised you. You might be undoing some of the things that they raised you up in, which might be trauma from them being raised, okay? Trauma that's passed down through the generations, generational curses. And they might feel some type of way about you making those changes. So then the mom might start crying and talking about, you just won't eat my food no more. You're losing too much weight. I'm concerned. You're drinking too much water. This is what mothers have told my clients. I'm concerned about you. You're losing too much weight. I think you're drinking too much water. Okay, I think you're eating too much of these green foods. I think you just need to eat some meat. That's what mama says, okay? But it might be because mama feels like she's kind of taking a blow to how she raised you and how she brought you up. And she don't want to feel like, she was a bad parent by feeding you pork chops. She doesn't want to feel like she's not a bad parent for feeding you pork chops. She just did what she knew. That's all. She did what she knew. We got to understand that our parents aren't born knowing everything. And once you become a parent, then you see that as you make mistakes with your children and you observe yourself like, damn, that was kind of fucked up. I didn't mean that. Let me correct that. We got to get in a state of like where we correct things with our children or with people when we make mistakes, okay? Make space for forgiveness for everyone on every level, and especially yourself. So with your moms come around. They will come around, okay? Sometimes you have to do something kind of butter them up. Maybe go and pick up some food for them and drop it off at their house. Hey, Mom, I passed by so-and-so and thought of you. I went and got your favorite meal from such and such and give it to her. And then you have your stir fry, your food with you, or whatever healthy food that you're eating at the time, and you eat your food while she eats the food that you bought her, okay? She will come around, and by her seeing you stick to your guns of what it is that you're doing, being steadfast, that she might see you doing this for a full month straight, or she might see you doing this for 3 weeks straight or a couple weeks, and it's like, dang. Or sometimes it might take a few months. Sometimes your mom might see you all the way in this change that you are doing for yourself, and it might take her 3 months or so for her to start to calm down and say, okay, my child is not writing me off. My child is not getting rid of my child appreciates how I raised them. My child just wants to do better for themselves, to change their life. And you know what? Mama will start to open up about health things that she's been going through. And then she'll ask you, well, let me taste your stir fry. Do you need help with your stir fry? Is there anything that I can help you do? Because I see that you're being so diligent in these changes that you're making for yourself. Okay? And then your mom will become your ally in what you're doing, okay, as well as other family members. Even if your husband is giving you some trouble when you first start the detox because he don't want to do the detox, you still need to do the detox. It doesn't matter if that man or that woman doesn't want to do the detox with you, even though you share a bed, because you are born in this world alone and you are going to die alone. So let's think of it this way. I had people who reached out to me when I first got started with this thing. I got started in 2016. Around 2017, somebody reached out to me, and she was like, I really want to do this, but my husband doesn't want to do this, and I don't want to waste my time doing this, okay? It took her, let's say, I think maybe to 2019. That's when things really, like, blew up for me in 2019, and she reached back out. She's like, well, I'm no longer in that relationship, and now I'm ready to go ahead and get started with changing my life. Now, this is the thing. She put out 3 years of her life. She held up 2 years of her life because the other person didn't want to make any changes when she could have been well on her way. He would have left a long time ago. You wouldn't have had to waste them 2 extra years. He would have been gone as soon as you started doing the detox and you sticking to your guns. There's one or two things that's going to happen. He's either going to make space for you to receive the good things that you're supposed to be receiving, and that he's taking up space and you can't receive it as long as he's there, just taking up space, okay? Or he will be like, dang, I'm really proud of her for making these changes in her life, and I can't believe she's really sticking with it. I ain't really seen her stick with everything that she's done, in her life or decided to do, but she's really sticking to this, and she's really benefiting from it. She is becoming a better person. She's becoming a nicer person. She's not trying to put this detox on me. She actually is not trying to force me to do this detox. She's giving me my space, and you know what? I want to try her stir fry. Let me see what that stir fry tastes like. And he gonna try that stir fry. And then there may be times where you're gonna find him in your pot, or find him with one of your containers eating your food. That's what my people tell me. That's what they tell me, that their partner started eating their food, or who else starts eating their doggone food? Their friends start eating their food, okay? Their mamas start eating their food, and everybody starts taking their food, and they're like, well, man, everybody just... Even the people at the office who at first were like, you just eating that stuff. Next thing you know, the people at your office is eating your food. This is what my people tell me. So you just have to stick it out. Stick through it, and people will make space for you. They won't understand. And the people who don't understand is the ones who need to make space for all the good stuff that's coming in your life, because the moment you decide to change your life, that's when adversity and different things start coming to you. But don't think that, just once you change and you just make that change, that you will never experience adversity again. Once it's time for you to level up again, you will experience adversity again. And the adversity that you experience is going to be for you to push past the burn so that you can learn whatever lessons and make whatever little necessary tweaks you need to make to be ready for the next great thing that is coming your way. Okay, because change, like the death card in tarot, people get afraid of that, but it means change. That's all it means. It means that something is about to end so that something can begin. All right, you got a pot. Everybody's got this pot, okay, and you can only fit so much in your pot. Okay, let's say you got a gumbo pot, a pot of gumbo, and you can only fit so much in that gumbo pot. There, you won't be able to fit everything and everybody inside your gumbo pot. You're going to have to make decisions. Okay, I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Okay, because gumbo is a little bit, a whole bunch of stuff, right? So you got your gumbo pot, but you're going to have to scoop some shit out if you want to add some more something else in there. Okay, you won't be able to do that if your pot is full. So some of these people, some of these things in your life got to go away. And it's the bad ones that they will get rid of themselves. You don't have to be rude, nasty, mean. You don't have to say anything back. If you don't have anything good to say nothing. Somebody told me something yesterday I totally disagree with. I said nothing. I'm like, it don't even make sense for me to tell you back what I feel. They felt like I should be a certain way or doing a certain thing. And rather than me saying, well, no, I shouldn't do this because you should do this and this and that. No, I know that we're not going to agree on this. I decide to say nothing, because it don't even make sense. I'm just going to move how I want to move. I'm going to make moves how I want to move rather than talking about it, rather than saying. And that's how I do that. Let me catch this question. Did anyone on your protocol take the Western blot test that you know of and their numbers was less IgG? We don't do Western blot, but you can do Western blot. If you want to, that's up to you. You have to test through IgG to monitor your results going down to negative. And then once you're in that negative range, if you decide you want to go take Western blot, you can. But my people keep in touch with me, and if they come back positive, like some people, like there's certain people online that says, well, they did such and such detox and they were negative and then they came back positive. My people are not doing that. Okay, so I've been doing this long enough to where if somebody was if my people were coming back positive from negative, I would know, and out of embarrassment I would take it down and I wouldn't do the work no more. Okay, seriously, people are vocal about the things that they don't like and the negative experiences they have, and if that is something that people are experiencing on my detox, then they will be vocal and they will let people know. All right, so I do post updates. I have some in my stories, updates that I received from people saying I think I just posted one, 2 years still good. So you can go and do repeat testing, and I encourage my people to always do repeat testing. Go and test yourself again, just out the blue. Just say, I'm going to give me another IgG test. I've been good for 6 months. Let me go get me an IgG test. I've been good for a year. Let me go double check and get me an IgG test. Or if you would like to, you can do a Western blot to confirm. Okay? But the Western blot is not how we monitor progress all the way down to negative. So that's fine if that's what you decide to do. Yeah, because I know they say that the Western blot is the most accurate one, but that's not what we use through the protocol, because we get tested to see where we are and how close we are to negative. And we don't do that with the Western blot. Isn't the Western, that's what I just said. I just answered that. Isn't the Western blot more accurate? I'm confused about that. So let's talk about this. There are people who say that you need to go to a different lab every time that you get tested. And they say that if you go to the same lab over and over again, that they'll just give you your old results. Okay? But that's not true. Out of all the people that I help and work with throughout the years, but let's say in a 1 year period, maybe only 3 people reach out to me and tell me that they were given the same result. Now, the risk with going to a different clinic to get tested every time is that you may receive a test that has a totally different scale, meaning that your numbers, let's say if you got a 20 on your first test, but then your next result says a 20.000, that is a totally different testing scale from your first test. And that may confuse you because you don't even know how to even read these tests. So, and really, I can't tell you that. I can't transpose that and say, okay, this one is a 20.000, but if it was on this scale, then that would have been a 14. I can't tell you that. So go to the same place. And if the rare instance that somebody didn't retest you, because sometimes somebody will be having a bad day, And they're like, I know I just tested this person a month ago. I'm about to just give them the same results. That's because that person's having a bad day. That is not how it goes. It rarely happens. So you need to go to the same place. This is another reason why you need to go to the same place, because it's a control. It's a controlled experiment. So this ain't no experiment, but in a controlled experiment, you need to run the same test over and over again, the same test throughout the whole controlled experiment to manage the results that you are getting. So by people going to the same facility to get retested every 30 days, or some people go and get retested every 2 weeks, is just up to you. It lets us know, really, because they're running the same test. It's the same testing facility. They're not making any mistakes. You will see on your results your numbers consistently coming down. They won't be jumping all over the place, here and there and all over. Okay? And we monitor this by going to the same facility every single time. All right? In the rare instance that they might give you one of your old results, then you let them know. I instruct my clients to call them up and tell them, hey, I go and get tested every 30 days to monitor my antibodies. Okay? You can even tell them to reduce my outbreaks if they need some excuse. Okay? And then you tell them, you gave me the same results that I just took. I don't think that you retested me. I think you gave me the old results. Can you retest me and give me my new results? Okay? And you can just go straight to management. You can get on the phone and say, can I speak to a manager? And let the manager know. And they will retest you. And if they say, we will not retest you, then you go to a different facility at that time. But you should not be bar hopping facilities. Okay? You should not be jumping from facility to facility to facility, because you will end up with random tests that have a totally different testing scale, that the test may be it can't be really ran differently, but it's under a different conditions. We want to go to the same facility that's under the same controlled conditions the whole time. And that's what lets us know through regular testing that your results are accurate. So the results that people are getting are not inaccurate, because they're not just testing a little one time. They're testing in regular intervals over and over and over again. And you can see the clear results coming down more and more and more. That's how you know that it's accurate. But IgG tests do give inaccurate results at times. And if that happened, then you would know, because you get tested regularly. And you're like, oh, wait, this test right here is an anomaly. This one's way off. This isn't in line with what I have been getting. And that would be an inaccurate test. Hey, Neek, how you doing? So then the next thing about it is, I forgot. Let me read this. I think I got the same results, different place, and she wanted to test me for a different test. The same results from a while ago. So you got the same results from a different place, or your numbers stayed the same, or you went to a different location, but it was the same lab. It's LabCorp. Let's say you went to LabCorp, okay? But you went to LabCorp on Martin Luther King, and this time you went to LabCorp on Johnston Street. If that's the case, that's still LabCorp. And that may be a lazy person that just pulled up your old results in the program and gave you those same results. But it's super, super rare, and we don't want to go around to different facilities for testing. And if you feel like somebody gave you the old results, then you let them know. You bring it to their attention, and you make them aware of the fact that they gave you the same old results. Okay, and then you can go and get tested at a different facility if you like, or you can get retested there. And say, run that test again, run that back. Let's do this again and see, because this is the same result as before. All right. And then if you get that same result again, or you get it's just a slight difference, like maybe it might be a difference of 0.01 or 0.02, a slight difference in the numbers, then that's really the number. That's accurate. That's the accurate number. Okay, so that's why doctors want to retest you. So after they find that you're positive, then they're like, okay, well, we can retest you to confirm. Okay, and the retesting confirms it. So when they say that IgG tests are inaccurate, that's for like one-off testing. But by us getting tested over and over again regularly, we know that it's not inaccurate. If it was inaccurate, then we would have a totally different result. Okay. So, and then if you're detoxing right, it should be a totally different result that come down. But the numbers come down. And then you go get retested again to double check that. And you'll see that those numbers come down. And then once you test negative, you want to get a Western blot after you're done, then you can go ahead and do that personally. You can go and do that. But I don't have any links or anything for the Western blot. All right? All right, so we just went over today. We covered the 5 reasons why your friends and family are turning on you because you decided to better yourself and change your life. And inside of my detox community, I posted a video from an ex-therapist. He is an ex-therapist because he realized that the realm of therapy, the therapists are so jacked up. They are so messed up. And people have told me before, like in business, with certain things that I've had gone through in business, and they were like, well, you know what, you should start going to business therapy. And they're like, well, I go to business therapy and it's helped me out a whole lot. But I just got issues with going to somebody for therapy, knowing how jacked up they are. Therapists are some of the most unbalanced people who they've taken all the meds, life all the way screwed up. So I'm sending y'all information on how, because especially in our community of Black people, we don't really like going to therapists anyways. And for some, if you know that therapy is good for you and it's right for you, then you know it's good and it's right for you. Okay? So go ahead and do that. But I'm providing information for you to be able to help yourself and for you to be your own therapist, for you to work these issues out on your own through self-reflection, because you don't need somebody to tell you about yourself, but you need to be honest with yourself. The problem is a lot of people don't want to be honest with themselves. They don't want to admit to their wrongdoings. Okay? So I've just posted this video in my community. Let me see. Join free detox community at using a nickname to stay anonymous. All right, let me pin this. All right, so this is the link. When you go on here, don't just sign up and then just close it. Sign up and then go through all of the information that I have up there for free and subscribe to the free information. Okay, there's a 7-day sugar fast is on there. What else is on there? Mindset Camp is on there. There's different things that you can subscribe to on that site that will give you more information, and go through those posts. Engage in making yourself better. All right, this is kind of like a weeding out process. Not everybody who contacts me would be right for this process, because not everybody is ready to self-reflect and get better. They just want to do something real quick. They just want to drink something and then that be that. And it doesn't work like that. You got to better yourself as a person, and you're going to change your life, not just get rid of X, Y, and Z. Okay, for Jason Health or Quest, does the lab conduct the results or does the nurse? The nurse does the drug. I don't know. Call them and ask them. I'm not really concerned with that. So you should call them and you should ask them I don't work in a lab. I help you with your health. So just go and call them up and you can ask them that, because I don't call them and ask them type of questions, and I'm not really concerned with which person inside of there is conducting the results, whether it's, a doctor or a nurse. So just call them and find that out. Okay, that'd be the easiest way. All right, so join the free detox community so you can go and watch this video about this man that's telling you about, and it's short, it's like 20 minutes. And he's exposing to you why are you so messed up, your trauma, and why the people in your life are giving you a hard time when you decide to make certain changes in your life. And he says it's so much better than me. It's like just well put together. So join this community. Make sure that you download the app, because if you don't download the app, you're going to miss out on everything. Okay? I don't outright say herpes, HPV, and things like that in the messages that I send you, like the notifications that I send. I'm not going to say that. I'll probably use code words like, antiviral, detox, or something like that, so that if it pops up on your phone, you don't have to worry about people knowing or seeing what this is about. So, join it, download the app, and this is where you're going to keep in touch with me for Q&A day. So if you're not a client, you can always post your questions for me right here on this app. You post it under announcements where it says post your Q&A day questions here. And And that's where I'll go and answer those questions on Q&A. On Q&A day, which is every Wednesday. All right. So this is the app. You're going to go and download this to your phone. This one here is still signed into Derek Grace, and I don't know why it always got me signed out. I was going to show y'all a little demo of where to go inside the app. But make sure you just download it once you get on there. Sign up using a nickname so that you can post your questions and stay anonymous. And that's it. That's how we're going to do this thing. So if you're ready to go ahead and start detoxing and change your life, go ahead and send me a message, and I'll send you the information that you need to know to go ahead and get started. And then make sure you're in the community so that you can work on your mindset so that you can stay on task, because as soon as you start to change your life, that's when things start making space and making way. That's what we're going to call it. These people are firing themselves from your life and they are making space for the people that you are manifesting, which are great, loving people that are going to support you in your endeavors and your change. And these are people who are already working on changing themselves, and it's just going to be a great thing. Okay. So when you go into announcements, all of these areas are free in there. Announcements, 7-Day Sugar Fast, Mindset Camp, Research and Case Study, Wealth Building, Order Help, Q&A Day. All of those are listed in the free area of my app. And if you have questions for Q&A, you just go under announcements, and right here at the end, it says more, and then post Q&A day questions here, and then you can post all of your questions that you have for me for Q&A in this section, and then I'll read those questions off and respond to you during Q&A day on Wednesdays. And that's what I'm able to offer people for free as far as helping them to do the detox. So if you want to know what supplies you need and all of that good stuff, you can go ahead and send me a message, and we can get you started, because this is a one and done experience. You do not have to constantly detox over and over and over and over again to keep it at bay. You do the detox one time and you are going to be finished with the detox. Okay? Done. You don't have to do it anymore. You won't have to do it ever again. All right. And then you just keep going back to the doctor if you want to check on your results to make sure you're still negative. You can do that for the rest of your life and you will still be negative. Okay. Now, don't go and get yourself reinfected now. Don't go and get yourself reinfected, because we ain't taking no chances with nobody. We're not taking no chances with nobody. All right. We want test results. We want to make sure those test results say HSV on the test results. Okay, because on most panels, it does not include HSV. So we want to double check these things. We want to make sure that they're comfortable talking about their sexual health. Because if they are not comfortable talking about their sexual health, that is a red flag. All right. And we're doing this so that we can also become comfortable talking about our sexual health. Because that's how this thing tends to spread around, because nobody wants to be comfortable opening up to each other and scrutinizing, like, hey, now let's talk about our sexual health. Not just, you just tell me I got tested and I ain't got nothing. No, that's not good enough. For one thing, I want to see those results. I want to make sure that HSV is on those results. I want to see how old are those results. And then still using protection, even though protection does not 100% protect against HSV, because the outbreaks is not just in the vaginal canal or on the shaft of the peen. Okay, the outbreaks happen on the lips, it happens on the thigh, it happens in the hair area, and that is not protected by a condom. Okay, it's not. So that's why so many people come to me who use protection and still get HSV. But it lessens your chances if you are using protection. So make sure that you are using protection. And anybody who's like, I ain't doing that, I don't want to do it, just let them go, because you ain't the only one that they talking about they don't use protection with. There's other people that they don't use protection with either. They just a non-protected person. Okay? They are very unprotected out here. And that's going to leave you unprotected if you agree to that type of BS. All right? So I'm gonna see you guys later. I'm gonna go ahead and post this in YouTube and on my Instagram, so you can go back and watch the replay. So make sure y'all tap in, get on the free community, make sure you join the free spaces in the community, make sure you download the app and turn on notifications so that you can get these invites and get this good information and motivational messages to keep you going. It's nice to open up your app, you know, when you're having a bad day and like, damn, I needed to hear that. That's the kind of stuff I got in there. So I'm gonna see y'all later.